Hello, it's Rebecca here from Precious Pages Papercraft, and today I'm taking part in the Peartree Cutfiles first birthday celebration hop. So really exciting. Peartree Cutfiles is 1 year old. I can't believe it's been a year already. I'm really lucky because I'm on the design team, so it means I've had a whole year of working with these amazing cut files. So of course I was going to take part in today's hop and help Marie celebrate. So I've selected the Explore More cut file to use for my layout today. I've cut it in smooth white cardstock, and I'm just going through showing you loads of bits I've pulled out that I thought I might use on this layout. I don't end up using all of them. I've got some stars that I've fussy cut from a Vicky Booten patterned paper. I've got some chipboard compasses, I think they're by Dusty Attic. I've got some Bramble Fox perspectives, both sort of a teal turquoise colour and some black chevrons. I've got some sequins from Spiegelmum Scraps, one of my favourite mixes. It's called Into the Woods, kind of like browns, coppers and golds, like wood grain effect. I absolutely love them. And I've also pulled out some Peartree pieces. I think they're called Oh My Stars or Into the Stars, I can't remember. Gosh, how bad is that? I will leave links in the description box below to everything I've used from Peartree. But yeah, those stars are, they come in wood veneer, cork and MDF I think they are, and you get a whole pack and they're fantastic, so I've pulled those out as well. Since having my little boy 4.5 years ago, I haven't really done any travelling. We haven't been outside the country, so I don't have an awful lot of travel related collections, so I'm using a bit of everything today for this layout. No particular collection, just bits and pieces that I thought would work. So I'm using a background, no I'm not, I'm using a patterned paper for my background. It's by Craft. I don't often use patterned papers for my background, so I'm being a bit brave today. It's got a lovely compass on the bottom left hand corner, and I just thought it'd be perfect to go with this cut file, which you can see on the screen here. I am backing with this kind of map paper from Cocoa Vanilla Studios Legendary collection. I wanted to, it looks a bit weird that I've just plonked it in the middle of the page, but I wanted to have some oranges and greens in my cut file because I've decided to print my photos in colour. I was going to go black and white, but I thought I would be brave, keep them in colour. And my little boy's wearing sort of neon clothes in the photos, so I felt like this pattern paper with the orange and greens brought a bit more colour to the layout and worked really well with my photos. So I've just backed it as one whole piece because I just felt like it would be easier. I normally faff quite a bit with backing of cut files and it takes me forever. So I've just applied wet glue to the back of it and stuck it down as one piece, and now I'm just going around trimming it out and just sort of paying more attention to the little details and neatening that up. So whilst I'm just finishing this off here, cutting out those central bits, this is obviously a YouTube hop. We're all helping Marie celebrate today, and there are loads of us taking part. So in my description box below, as well as finding links to most of the products I've used, you'll also find a list of everybody taking part in today's hop. And we are each using cut files by Marie at Peartree, obviously. So I think we're all using different cut files as well. So if you make your way through the hop and visit everybody's channels and watch all the videos, by the end of it, you will see a large selection of the cut files available from Peartree. It will just be a selection because Marie has hundreds. I wouldn't be surprised if she's even hit the 1,000 mark by now. She started off making cut files and she's recently branched out and she now makes pieces and stencils. So the stencils are fab. They come in 6x6, 8x8 and 12x12. I think she's got, at the moment, at the time of recording this, I'm recording it a little early, I think she's got about 15 or 20 stencils already. She will have more by the time this goes live. And the pieces are fantastic. So she's got gorgeous little felt pieces, loads of different colours. They come with like standard felt, or even glitter and metallic. I absolutely love the glittered pieces. They are fantastic. And she also has wooden pieces, MDF pieces, cork pieces, there's loads. She's got stencils, she's got shapes, she's got words. They're just fantastic. So if you haven't shopped at Peartree already, please do head over to the website. Obviously, again, link will be in the description box, and check out everything Marie has got. So we're finally there. My cut file is backed, and this is the overlapping circles cut file I mentioned at the beginning, and I'm going to use this as a stencil. So I've pulled out a couple of distress inks. This one is Evergreen Bough, which is a slightly darker green than the patterned paper I'm using. I didn't want to go too mad with any mixed media on the background of this, but I wanted some subtle details. So the paper itself, as you can see, has already got loads of texture and different details on it, but I of course wanted to add more. So I'm just using a distress ink and a blending brush just to add a bit of colour in a few areas of the page. So I'm going to use, this one is Evergreen Bough, and I'm also going to come in with some blue, and I think I used Stormy Sky, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing, just kind of adding a bit of the colour around the outside edge where sort of my cut file and my photos will sit. So you can just see that subtle detail that's added around the edge there. And I'm going to come in with a bit more. So I've got a wooden stamp here. Again, it's a compass, so I'm going a bit compass mad today. I'm using black StazOn ink, and I'm just stamping that in random places around the page. Some I'm getting the full compass, and others I'm overlapping the edge of the page, so you just get kind of a portion of the compass. It just felt like that added a bit more kind of natural background detail. And I've just done that in a few random places, and now I'm going to add some splatters to my background. So I almost went in with the black first. Never do that. If you're going to use black and white, always go white first, otherwise your water will get so dirty when you try and clean your paintbrush. So I almost made the mistake there, but remembered at the last second. So I start with white, add my splatters. This is white gesso I've used, just watered down. I find it's kind of more of a true white than using white acrylic paint, and I find that just soaks into the background, either cardstock or paper, whatever you're using. So I prefer to use gesso for white splatters. And then this is a black acrylic paint, and again I've just watered that down slightly, and just used a paintbrush to add some splatters. And then I'm coming in with a Nuvo mica or mica mist. These are really shimmery sprays, I love these. This is just a light sort of minty green colour, just for a bit of contrast, and that's just going to add a little bit of shimmer to my background. So I've left my background to dry, and now I'm just going to add some foam behind my cut file, because I do like to have a lot of dimension on my layouts. I don't like keeping everything flat, so I'm just using, this is some adhesive craft foam. It's just kind of got like peel back sticky on one side. It comes in A4 sheets, so I just cut a thin strip of it, and then I can just go around and add it to the back of each letter. I just find this a little bit easier than adding little tiny foam pads. And then I'm going to raise my photos up on foam as well. This isn't adhesive, this foam. I like to save my black and white adhesive foam for cut files. I usually cut it in really thin strips for like the more intricate cut files to raise those up. So I don't like to waste that on the back of photos, so I just use some of the other coloured stuff I've got. And I'm again using that same patterned paper from the Cocoa Vanilla Legendary collection just to mount my photos and add a bit more colour behind them. That'll just offer a bit more separation from the background. And I love distressed edges as well, it's kind of another thing of mine. So I always distress the edges of pattern paper layers behind my photos with an edge distresser. I'm finished with my background now and I kind of know where things are going to sit, so I'm getting these photos and cut files stuck down in place, and I'm kind of going at an angle across my page. I didn't want to cover that compass completely in the bottom left, and I just felt like it was a bit more interesting having it as at an angle as opposed to going horizontal across the page. So that's kind of why I did it. I just thought it'd be a bit different, not something I've done before. And I can have my photos at an angle up the top as well there. And then I'm just going to add a few foam pads behind the word more just to raise that up as well. So now I can get started on the embellishing and pulling all those bits back out. So these wooden compasses I'm getting stuck down, they're from Paper Maze, I think they're by Dusty Attic. They've got two different sizes there, so I've used both on this layout. And then these are the stars I cut from Vicky Boutin patterned paper. I'm going to stick those down flat because everything else I'm sticking on the page is quite dimensional. So I don't mind a few things stuck down flat, I don't like everything to be flat, but because everything else is quite dimensional, I felt like I wanted, you know, the odd flat thing. So I'm just using double-sided tape to stick those down, and I've done them kind of diagonally, 3 in the top right and 3 in the bottom left. I've added, those leaves are a Vicky Boutin stamp that somebody very kindly lent me. I've been trying to get hold of it for ages and just can't find it in the UK. So a lovely lady lent me her stamp, and I've just stamped loads of the images, and so I can fussy cut those out and use them as and when. So I've added a couple of those as well. The photos are of my little boy reading a map. We went for a walk at one of my local National Trust sites, one of my favourite ones, quite locally. He absolutely loved it there. There's absolutely nothing there for children at all, no play areas or anything, but it's got a lovely flower garden, it's got a huge pond where we always find frogs. It's got kind of like hills they're almost like man-made, I think. They look like Teletubby hills, so if you're in the UK and you know what Teletubbies are, they look a bit like that. But just generally things he can run around and enjoy. So he was reading the map and telling me where we were going to go. So as well as all of those things, there's also like loads of woods and things, so I thought those leaves from those stamps worked quite well. Also added in some Bramble Fox perspectives. I've got some little GA tags that have got a heart and a star cut out of them, and also some black chevrons and a little arrow under the X there with a heart in the middle. I've added some black thread to just the left of my photos, and I've got a flare I've put on top of that. I don't know where I got this flare from, but it's perfect. It's got an arrow and it says "You are here," and I thought it worked really well with this layout on my photos, so I've used that as well. And now I'm just taking some time to stick my sequins down, so I've just kind of scattered them around the outside edge of my main central cluster. Now I'm just using glossy accents to get those stuck in place, and that's the Into the Woods mix by Spiegelmom Scraps, one of my favourites, so I had to get those on. And now I'm coming in with the Peartree pieces. So this is the little star set, and it's got MDF, wood veneer and cork in this pack. So I'm just scattering a few of the stars around just randomly. I'm going to get those stuck down with glossy accents, and then I'm going to paint those black just to tie them in with the rest of the layout. So I'm going to use that black acrylic paint again. I'm not going to water it down, I'm just going to use a tiny little paintbrush that's really good for kind of little small detailed things. And then I'm just going to paint those directly on without any water, and they dry really, really quickly. So I've used the MDF stars for this layout. You can paint them any colour, they're fab, and this takes seconds for them to dry. So I'm not fussed about smudging it or anything with my hands as I carry on. It's probably dry before I've even kind of straightened it up and finished it. And I'm almost done here. At this point I was considering painting my cut file, the white part, black, but instead I just decided to bring a little bit more of the white in. So I go around the edge of each of the stars with a white gel pen just to kind of help them stand out a bit more and bring in some more white. And then I turned the camera off and decided that I wanted to draw a white doodled border all around the edge of my layout. So you'll see in the photos at the end that there's a white border. And that's my layout finished. So thank you very much for joining me today. Please do remember to check out the description box for everybody else's videos. There's loads of us taking place. It's going to be a really exciting hop today, seeing everyone using different cut files by Peartree. And as I've mentioned before, I will pop a link in the description box to the Peartree website, the Peartree Facebook group, and also to the products that I've used on my layout here today. But again, thank you very much for joining me, and I will leave you with lots of close-ups.